Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the fourth grade concept of area and perimeter. This is 4.5D Readiness Practice Advanced version. If you would like to explore the intermediate proficient versions of 4.5D or the Readiness Practice resources aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description. So we've got Sarah here with two rectangular pieces of paper. So let's just go ahead and draw two rectangles. The first piece of paper is 10 inches long and 6 inches wide. All right, so we'll make 10 inches and 6 inches. The second piece of paper has the same area as the first piece of paper, but its length is 12 inches. All right, so it's a little bit longer. So we can go ahead and let's make it a little bit longer, probably a little bit skinnier. So I've got 12 inches here. And we need to find the width of the second paper. Well, what do I know? The areas are equal. Well, what is the area? Remember, our area equals length times width. So that's going to be 10 times 6. So that equals 60 square inches. So that means the second piece of paper also has an area of 60 square inches. And it's also length times width. So 12 times what is going to get me that 60? So 12, how many sets of 12 is going to get me to 60, 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. That's 5. All right, so our first missing number is going to be that 5 inches. So what is the width of the second paper? All right, so we can say that is the width, is that 5 inches. Now, what is the difference in the perimeters of the two paper? All right, so perimeters. Well, let's look at this first one. Remember, the perimeter is double the length plus double the width. So the first one is going to be double 10 plus double 6, because there's a 10 on the other side and the 6 on the bottom. So we want to just double the 10, double the 6, and add them together. So that's going to equal 20 plus 12. So my perimeter is going to equal 32 inches. That's the first one. Let's do the second one. P equals double the length plus double the width. So that's going to be, remember, there's going to be two 12s. There's also going to be a 5 down there. So 2 times 12 plus 2 times 5. It's going to be 24 plus 10. So P equals 34 inches. So that second one is a little bit longer. So the difference is going to be 34 inches minus 32 inches. We're going to get a difference of 2 inches. So the missing side length is 5 inches, and the difference in the two lengths, and I'll go ahead and just write that there so we can see it on the answer key a little bit easier, is 2 inches. So now we have a farmer planting a rectangular garden. So let's draw our rectangle like we do. And we say the length is 3 units longer than the width. Total perimeter is 30. All right, and we don't know what the units are. We're just going to call them units. All right. So the length is 3 units longer. So I'm going to make this my length. I'm going to make this my width. I'm going to make my unit. We have to label it something. Okay, X. So it's 3 units longer than the width. So my width is just going to be X units long. And then that's going to be X plus 3, because X plus 3 is going to be 3 units longer than the width, and the width is going to be X. So if that is going to equal 30, then we can actually use this information. Remember, my perimeter is also double the length plus double the width. Okay, so we have 30, that's my perimeter, equals double, what's my length? It's my X, my unit plus 3, plus double the width, which is just 2x. Okay, so if I get 2x plus 3, right, that's going to be 2x's, and then it's actually plus 3 gets me a plus 6, plus this 2x. So we are actually getting into middle school math here. We're combining like terms. I've got 2x's and 2x's. I can put those 2x's and 2x's together, and that's going to give me 4x's and 6. Okay, so whatever that x is, if I can do 4 of those and then add 6, I'm going to get to my 30. But I want to figure out what do I need to get to before adding 6. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 6 away from both sides to keep the equation equal. Once again, we're getting into middle school math now. So that's going to give me 24 equals 4x. So what does my 4x need to get to before I add the 6 to get to 30? Well, 4 times what gets you 24? Well, 4 times 6. So we can say our x is going to equal 6 because 6, 12, 18, 24. So if our x is 6, now we can say our width equals 6 and our length equals 6 plus 3, which is going to equal 9. I don't take my word for it. Let's see if it works. So perimeter equals, always got to check your work, double the length plus double the width. So double the length, 2 times 9, plus double the width, 2 times 6. So perimeter equals 18 plus 12, and that's my 30, which I originally was given. So we are good and we check out. For our last problem, we have a composite shape here, and we've got some missing side lengths. And there's a hint. You will need to find the missing side lengths first. So let's look at this one. If I could say this 65 right here, okay, is equal to this side length plus this side length. If I were to bring this side length right here, I can get all of that in there together. Okay, it'd be one continuous line. So that means that the 65 is equal to the 24 plus this missing number. So let's just rewrite that as 65 minus 24 equals that missing number, right? We can write that as a fact family. And so that's going to end up being 41. So we can put 41 meters right there because 41 and 24 make that 65. We're going to need to do the same thing with the top. Now the top's a little bit easier because if you look at this 45 and bring it up, you notice the 45 and the 61 together make one whole length. So it's just going to be 45 plus 61, and that's going to equal 106. So now I've got my missing side lengths. Now I can find the area of composite shape. So I can go ahead and let's just cut it like this. Okay, so this top one is going to be a rectangle with a length of 41 and a width of 106. Now I need to find the area. Okay, so now we're going to have to do 106 times 41. Okay, so let's figure that one out. So that's going to be easy. That's 106. We just add a row there, and that's going to be 4. 4 times 0 is 0. Add the 2 is 2, and then that's 4. So that's going to be 4,346. So 4,346 square meters. And then this bottom one is going to be just that 24 times 45. So 24 times 45. It's going to be 20. That's 10. That's 12. That's 16. It's 8. And then add the one that's 9. So I've got 1080 square meters. Now I need to add the 2. So let's take my 4,346, 1,080, add those up, and that's going to be 4, 5. Okay, so the area equals 5,426 square meters. We'll put that in green as our answer. If you are interested in exploring the 4.5D Readiness Practice resources for the intermediate proficient versions or the Readiness Practice resources aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description.